Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are now here with our players. We have Matteo Bushmans and, of course, Niek. We have our one non-master player right now going 2-0 with a very interesting team because it has a Rayquaza, Chimpao, Clefairy, Paragraph, Ogerpon, Heartflame, and Rillaboom. So a lot of the standard sets, Sash, Chimpao, but going with the dual Staff of Dark and an Icicle Crash. Clefairy being able to redirect, and after you for the Trick Room teams, Burgraf being able to block any sort of priority moves as well, and having its own Trick Room mode. Rayquaza itself, Clear Amulet, Extreme Speed, Source Sass, and Dragon Ascent. Those are the moves you want to click. As Ogerpon, Heart Flame with Focus Energy, actually, making sure that Ivy Control is just that much more scarier, as the Rillaboom is the standard Assault Vest set. On the other end, Niek, we have another Kyogre. This time, Kyogre, Tornadus, Landorus, Serena, Iron Hands, and Ditto. Tornadus as well, with the Cover Cloak, Bleakwind Storm, Tailwind, Rain Dance, Taunt. Landorus Incarnate is the Choice Scarf variant with Earth Power, Sandseer, Sludge Bomb, U-Turn, Serena, Terra, Ice with the White Lens, Triple Axle, Power Whip, U-Turn, Helping Hand, Iron Hands being the Assault Vest Pokemon. And there's also a Ditto with Terra Ghost being able to deal quite well with teams. In my experience, especially with Zamazenta, because you're getting a +2, you can go Terra Ghost, and you are fully ignoring that pesky Ditto. Pesky Fungus in that regard. So, with the teams in hand, let's take a look at what these players have brought, because they are ready and geared up to play. We have the solid leads. It is going to be Tornadus and the Kyogre. We're looking a bit under the stage there, as we see PP and Joverpon, which is the Clefairy and Ogerpon itself. Ogerpon is a nice Pokemon. It has the ability to go for the Grass Glide, being Kyogre for damage, but this Kyogre is itself also a Terra Grass version. The first, on the other hand, Clefairy is able to make sure that it is able to keep Ogerpon a bit safer thanks to its Friend Guard ability. Friend Guard making sure that the Ogerpon takes just a little bit less damage, making sure that potentially it could survive some things, but as long as this Tornadus is on the field, you do not want to get hit by a combination of Water Spout plus that Bleakwind Storm. So looking at the options, it is looking like a very good lead for Niek and less so for Matteo, but Matteo has gone 6-0, I just want to say, in day one for BYC. So if anyone can do it, it's definitely Matteo. So we have the switch out from, we have the switch out there with the Clefairy going into Mega Rayquaza with the Airlock ability, making sure that the effects of weather, so that means no boost to this Water Spout. Kyogre actually going for Protect. That means also Bleakwind Storm now has the chance to miss as well. Ogerpon go for the Spiky Shield, trying to make sure that it stays safe for just another turn, as we have just a turn coming up for this Tornadus. So with that said, Kyogre is onto the field. It is able to make sure that it is can do reasonably amount of damage, but you always have to fear the potential of this Kyogre with the Ice Beam, of course, because Ice Beam is not a move you want to get hit by with Rayquaza. And of course, go for the Terra Normal. You're able to take a move, but it is still Extreme Speed is a very scary move to click, because Serena could very well be the Pokemon switching in, but it's Kyogre switching out, going into Serena the Solid. Serena is a beautiful shiny version just as well. Rayquaza going to take, trying to scout out what Niek is planning to do. That means Bleakwind Storm is coming out from the Tornadus. It has a chance to miss now that the Airlock ability, is not missing this time, doing a lot of damage onto this Ogerpon right now. Over the Grassy Glide onto the Serena. It is able to use Grassy Glide even when there's grassy terrain, because it has the Mold Breaker ability, making sure that it can go through just as well any sort of priority blocking abilities. Rayquaza, on the other hand, will not be able to do that. Important notes, so you're aware. That means there's two turns that have passed right now, and Rayquaza, Mega Ray here, really wanting to click some strong moves right now, because it is looking like it's time to click the. Yeah, getting an error into my phone, but it is fine. Okay, let's take a look. It is going to be that Terra with the Clefairy next to the Rayquaza just as well. Try to make sure that you can redirect instead of attacks to it. And with this Terra Normal, this extreme speed is suddenly being boosted to infinity and beyond because this just hurts a little more. Tornado is going for a Bleak Wind Storm. It is missing the Clefairy, as you see. That is one of the effects of Airlock, which does help, and there's no possibility of it being able to. Wow, triple axle not doing all that much damage thanks to that friend guard. Clefairy really being a friend, hanging on and dragging a set, coming out from his Rayquaza, being able to go into the Serena and just being able to deal with that. Serena gone, that means extreme speed is back on the board just as well. Okay, with the Kyogre now being back in, it is able to now click its Origin Pulse. Well, it is might not be boosted by any sort of weather, but it is still a decent move at the very least because, of course, Kyogre is now going to be neutral and being hit by a Bleak Wind plus a Origin Pulse could prove to be enough. I don't know how much friends guarding this Clefairy can do, but it needs to do something very good there to be able to take both of these moves. But it's Tornado's actually opting to switch out. Tornado's going into the Iron Hands, giving the possibility of some control here with the fake out pressure. But they will go for that protect, trying to stay safe just for another turn. Right now, Rayquaza is going just as well for protect. And with that protect, we have the Moonblast coming out into that Kyogre slot from the Clefairy. Clefairy got hands too, just saying. And now Tailwind is over. That does mean that right now, this Rayquaza might be the fastest Pokemon on the field. Unfortunately, that does tell us that the stream stopped. Oh. Take out is being blocked by the Armateur from the Ferrograph. That means extreme speed is coming out. It is Terra Normal. It is Terra boosted. Kyogre taking a lot of damage right now. As now Water Spout is gonna do just a little bit less as well, but it will still be enough for KOing the Rayquaza. Camera is back online. There we go. Camera is back online. But that was a very good use of making sure that this Kyogre is not able to just keep clicking Water Spout. There's also no terrain right now. Ogerpon is low HP, but this Ferrograph is able to still position itself where it could prove to be useful as if Iron Hands is gone and, for example, the Race wants to opt for Tailwind, Ferrograph then has the option to go for Trick Room just as well. We do know that there's only Rayquaza in the back, so there's not a lot of Pokemon that can still do a lot of damage. Kyogre is the fastest thing on the field still, going for that Water Spout and being able to kill the Ogerpon just as well. No need for that, no need for any sort of Tailwind as Hyper Voice is coming out, giving it a boost to this Ferrograph, and this Ferrograph has to do a lot of carrying right now, as Iron Hands is the next Pokemon to attack. It is going to be that Drain Punch, and that will be enough. And that means there's a Soul PP in the back, unfortunately, and that will not be able to deal very well with all three of these Pokemon. So with that Clefairy, this is looking like a very rough game. Oh no, doe het gewoon wandelen ze. Moet gewoon wandelen ze, dus oké. Sorry. Origin Pulse coming out into, hey, dodging at the very least. That Clefairy got hands and can dodge, as Iron Hands is going to be able to take this Moonblast. So this is actually important damage to see how much is it doing, because this might be important for later on for some ranges as well. See how much damage it can. Origin Pulse, this single target right now, is going to be enough to kill our poor little PP. But that does bring us to the end of this game, and that means game 2. What can be adaptations? What can be the adaptation from Matteo's side? Now, we do know that the Rayquaza is able to go for the extreme speed and very nice in that regard. The Pokemon that I felt the least use out of was the Ogerpon. I do think, personally, that Rillaboom... Oh! Apparently the game crashed. So the players are going to try and reconnect just in a bit. So not to worry. Luckily, we were in between games. But what are the possible adaptations? Matteo does have that Rayquaza with the airlock, as we saw already, proving to be useful, making sure that Tornadoes doesn't have 100% accurate Blink and Storms, making sure that Water Spout and even Origin Pulse do less damage because the secondary effects Kyogre are gone. And even Ogerpon could very well go for an Ivy Cudgel in the rain onto Kyogre just to make sure that that gets KO'd as well. If the Kyogre is, of course, Terra Grass, because it is no longer being weakened by anything, by the rain. So there are definitely options, but I felt like Matteo might have opted to go a little bit too much into the support range of things and a little bit too little into the offense of it all. While Niek, with his Pokemon, all really give some nice support, but also have the potential to serve a lot of damage to all of these Pokemon right now. Fairy proved to be useful as well, I feel, but I do think like something like Chimpao or even Rillaboom could prove to be very useful for Matteo. So looking at the options at hand, let's take a look at what what these players have brought right now. Oh no, sorry, just still selected the monster. My bad. But honestly, seeing Rayquaza being played is always a fun time. Let's be real. Rayquaza, we don't see a lot of Rayquaza because, of course, it is no longer having its mega form, but it's still finding a niche with extreme speed, of course, as well. Terra Normal, you do have Swords Dance as well. And Clefairy Clefairy, Rillaboom, actually kind of nice support options. As Chimpao itself is also nice because being able to drop the defenses from all of these Pokemon as well, making sure that Extreme Speed just does that much more damage right now. So that is set in stone. Let's take a look at what these players have brought because they have now fully selected. Games are online. They're fully ready to play. Let's take a look. It is going to be that Kyogre and the Serena. Kyogre and Serena as the lead, as it is Rayquaza plus the Clefairy. So quite an interesting lead from both, as Kyogre Drizzle will activate, but Rayquaza will block it. Will block it as the normal boost from the rain itself. But then there's Serena, who's blocking of the Rayquaza in that regard. But the Rayquaza, then again, has nice support next to the Clefairy, and also having the perfect move of being able to go for just a Dragon Ascent. We have the Terra coming out immediately this time around. It is on to the Clefairy saying, no, it is time. It's flower time. I'm a grass type. I will not be killed by Kyogre, Origin Pulse, Water Spout, or anything sort of a matter, as it's helping hand from the Serena right now. So let's take a look at how much this is doing. It is Follow Me from the Clefairy, trying to make sure that if it is a water, if it is Ice Beam, is going to that. So it's just a Water Spout. Both these Pokemon should be taking that quite good thanks to that airlock. Dragon Ascent will be onto that Serena. We've already seen that it did KO it earlier. And it's just gonna do it yet again. So turn one, while Matteo had to burn his Terra, potentially, maybe he didn't have to, but I do think it was a good option to do. With that being said, now Niek does have the option to bring in maybe a bit more frightening Pokemon. Water Spout has still options to be able to be clicked. Unfortunately, now Extreme Speed is just as well an option that can be clicked. It is going to be the Iron Hands. Iron Hands, of course, making sure that there's one turn where either of these Pokemon want to protect right now. Because, yeah, both the Kyogre and the Rayquaza, the Rayquaza can definitely protect, as the Clefairy does not carry protect. but it could still put some hands up because we saw it earlier that it went for the Moonblast as well. So with that said, Iron Hand's just hard retreating, trying to bait out a fake out, trying to bait out a protect. Ditto coming into that Clefairy slot right now, trying to see if the Clefairy was going to change. The Clefairy next to the Kyogre is very interesting, being able to Frank Guard it up as Rayquaza is protecting itself. And now with this Clefairy next to the Kyogre, Kyogre is going for that Ice Beam. It is not going to affect the Rayquaza as it did protect. And now Moonblast coming out from the Clefairy into that Kyogre just for that little bit of chip and the special attack drop, which could prove to be quite effective just as well, because a Follow Me could, from the Clefairy could prove to be enough now to survive at least one more Ice Beam in that regard, as the Rayquaza is freely able to do some damage to either of these Pokemon. Now, Ditto does not have the HP stat, of course, of Clefairy. The Clefairy itself does not Clefairy actually has not all that much HP either. It is thanks to that Eagle Eye swing speed going into that Kyogre, not doing any damage anymore, as we just saw. Like, this is pitiful damage from what we are used to see. As the Ice Beam from Kyogre going into that Clefairy, is it able to hang on? It is able to hang on thanks to that Moonblast drop earlier. And now you do have the options yet again. Like, Follow Me is an option. Rayquaza will always be able to exchange speed before the Follow Me coming out from the Ditto. Ditto is, of course, safety goggles as well. Do you want to stay in Clefairy is the question, because the last Pokemon in the back is that Iron Hands, and that means that Iron Hands has to carry it all. Follow Me from the Clefairy coming out from Matteo's side, while the Kyogre is going for that Orange Impulse. No extreme speed coming out. PP did avoid, but Rayquaza didn't. So PP still hanging on strong as the Swords Dance is coming out. Swords Dance now. Rayquaza is humongous beast. Moonblast being enough to KO this Clefairy at the very least right now. If that Orange Impulse did miss, that means Clefairy was able to Moonblast this Rayquaza. Look, I don't want to say that, like, it's damage is damage, right? But, like, I wasn't sure if Clefairy was able to kill the Rayquaza. I would not put my money on it, but it could have just as well been an option. Rillaboom coming in, being able to fake out, and Rayquaza is now able to freely just keep clicking this extreme speed button, or even going for the Dragon Ascent, as the Pokemon in the back are not looking like very much the best options that Niek has. Iron switching in instead of that Ditto, with Iron being the Pokemon of choice, going to stay in. I will go for the protect, trying to make sure that it stays safe for just another turn. We have the fake out coming out into that Kyogre shot. Kyogre protecting itself smartly in that regard, but that means that Matteo does click this move, Dragon Ascent. It is +2 into this Iron Hands. Iron Hands is an amazing Pokemon, but it is not enough to survive on Dragon Ascent at the very least. It is such a strong move, as well as Rayquaza's defenses are dropped again. And speaking of dropping, Iron Hands, it has dropped as well. The last Pokemon to be able to come in is now that Rillaboom. That Rayquaza is now at -2 defenses, if I'm correct. And with -2 defenses, potentially the Ditto could do something at least with, like, Fake Out, with Grassy Glide onto this Mega Rayquaza to try and. But Ditto is the Pokemon that has to carry it all together with this Kyogre. This Kyogre has just been sitting on this field this entire time and not being able to take all that much KOs either, which is not something you want to see when you're the Kyogre player, honestly. With that being said, Rayquaza is going for that protect, trying to keep itself safe. Ice Beam from the Kyogre into the Rillaboom. Is it going to be enough for a potential freeze here? See a lot of damage. U-turn into the Kyogre, just playing it safe here. Rillaboom is Ditto has lost a speed tie against the opposing Rillaboom, but this means that another Pokemon could be very well the one switching in. It is Ogerpon that has been brought, and Ogerpon has that Grassy Glide, and like seems to be the perfect option right now for all of these Pokemon, because it is able to just make sure that it is able to keep attacking time and time again, because you have the Grassy Glide, you have the Ivy Cudgel. It is enough damage to deal with both of these Pokemon, and that does mean, I think, that Matteo has won this game. I don't want to write it completely off, but it feels like Matteo is in such good control right now. This Rayquaza is also still +2, can't forget that, as this Kyogre is taking more and more damage. we do have the Terra activated right now. It is going to be the Terra onto the Rillaboom. Rillaboom opting to go for that. Well, onto Ditto actually, which is Terra Ghost. And with that Terra Ghost, it is able to make sure that it's not getting hit by anything like Extreme Speed. But Extreme Speed is going into the Kyogre slot, and Kyogre is just down. Kyogre being down means that only Ogerpon is the next Pokemon to move. It is going to be Ivy Cudgel into that Rillaboom slot. The HP stat of Ditto is not that high, but it is able to survive just one. Wood Hammer coming out into that Rayquaza, and finally, that Rayquaza is gone as well. Rayquaza is gone, and there's only a Ditto left. The Ditto is not looking it's not having a nice time with this Ogerpon in front of it, and another Rillaboom next to it. So, Niek is probably already considering what the adaptations are for the next round, because it is not that easy to consider. But let's take a look. So, potential options here for Niek instead. I do think that Landorus and Karna could be nice in regard, but as long as Rayquaza is able to just be immune to Sandsear Storm, which honestly there's not that many flying types right now, so well, good flying types, I want to say. But the adaptation could very well be just bringing the team that you brought round one, and if Matteo brings in the Urpon in the back, you are able to still deal with it as long as you play carefully and keep your Tornadus alive as well. This might be the key way for Niek to bring in this game back, as it does give you a lot of options with Tailwind. Bleak Windstorm is still a move that hits all of your opponents. It is still quite a nice option. Wat? Ah ja, je mag zo wandelen. Kijk zo. Je ziet u zelf even, maar dat is feit, dat is een seconde. Ik heb liever dat mensen dat doen in plaats van dat ze voor die draden vallen of zo. Okay, it is time for game 3. It is Kyogre versus Rayquaza. The matches have been really good today. Like, they've been treating me well. I wish I've got another drink in my bag. Could you? Yeah, yes, thank you. No, in my bag. Yeah, on the side. Yes, thank you. All right. Thank you for the drink. Now I get a little bit of water. Get boosted. Get hyped because it's again time for round 3. These players are fully set up. They know what they like to bring to each other, and it is time for the battle. Niek with the Kyogre, Matteo with the Rayquaza. It's a green snake versus a blue whale. It is Ditto in the lead next to the Kyogre. And the Ditto is going to copy this Rayquaza as well. This is triple legendary time. With the only one we're missing if it was a Groudon somehow. So the Ditto being in the second slot, proving to be useful because it will be able to transform into that Rayquaza just as well. It is going to be able to Swords Dance, it is going to be able to Dragon Ascent, Extreme Speed. It can do all of the things that Rayquaza is doing, but of course that does mean 2 airlocks, meaning that the Kyogre moveset will still not do all that much. This is looking like the end game of Ruby, well, mainly Sapphire, I want to say, because I don't remember there being 2 Rayquazas, but now we are going to be the Kyogre is still able to Ice Beam towards the Rayquaza or just Origin Pulse for a lot of damage onto the Clefairy. While Niek also having the option to just SD with his own Ditto. Like, this is not easy at all. This is a hard call to make. Protect, like, as long as Ditto having PP to do things, like, this is still not an easy call to make. Ditto going for the Protect here. Trying to stay safe for just another turn as the Clefairy is going for the Follow Me. So let's see if the Kyogre might have gone for an attacking move. It is Ice Beam into the Clefairy slot, just taking a bit of damage there as it is Swords Dance from Rayquaza, and now suddenly Extreme Speed is looking like a very good option. Extreme Speed into the Ditto is risky because Ditto of course is that Terra Ghost, while on the other hand Kyogre can protect itself. There's also the Serena being able to be switched in just as well, so maybe just a potential to just try and win the speed tie and go for Dragon Ascent, because you do have redirection, being able to make sure that you are save for at least a turn. Or you could switch out your Ditto, switch it in later for another being able to get that +2 as well from that Rayquaza. While the Kyogre has still options to switch out, protect itself, like it could go to Serena, it could go, like, there's options. So now we have the Terra activation, and I do believe it is going to be that Ditto. And that Ditto is going to go Terra Ghost right now. Be able to ignore any sort of extreme speeds, but Dragon Ascent is very well just another move that can be clicked. Extreme speed from Ditto, going into the Rayquaza, not doing all that much damage. Follow me from the Clefairy going afterwards because same priority bracket. Kyogre did not protect either. It is just a Water Spout. Is it enough for the kill? It is not enough yet onto the Clefairy. Dragon Ascent just not risking speed ties here. I actually want to say, wait, the Ditto, that does mean that the Kyogre and the Rayquaza are speed tying as well. We never realized it because there was always like a protect or extreme speed, but these Pokemon are speed tying just as well. Op camera, ik heb letterlijk u het zien stil op camera.
En dan met zo geweest telefoon.
Hey, reset cooked, man. Alright, but now Terra has been used onto Ditto and it has been killed. What's the Pokemon mix of choice? It is Iron Hands, being able to fake out the Rayquaza at the very least, or even fake out the Clefairy. But last game we did see the Paragraph was in the back for Matteo. Is it in the back again? Do you risk it? Like a +2 Dragon Ascent was able to kill this Iron Hands as well. Iron Hands opting to just switch out just as well. We're gonna see the Serena. Serena coming out and blocking any sort of extreme speed here. There's protect from the Rayquaza, meaning that right now the Kyogre is freely able to like a spread move. Going for the Water Spout. That is a KO onto the Clefairy. So it is 3-3. Terra still hasn't been used by Matteo's side. Both still have the restricted. Well, technically Niek lost one, but it was his Ditto. But now, new Pokemon coming in, and it is going to be that Chimpao. Chimpao in the being able to Icicle Crash and kill the Serena. Being able to throw Chop plus Sucker Punch. This Rayquaza not being able to extreme speed maybe, but Dragon Ascent will do just as much damage right now because Chimpao is just able to absolutely decimate defenses, and that is one powerful Rayquaza right now. As soon as that Serena is gone, it is looking mighty dire. We do have that Terra. Terra onto the Rayquaza, going for that Terra normal. So it is trying to make sure that it is able to survive any sort of move. We already have seen that it is able to survive Water Spout and everything. It's helping hand from the Kyogre. Matteo with his hands in his, on his head. What's going to happen? It's Throat Chop into the Kyogre. Kyogre still able to take it quite decently. Water Spout coming out, so it is doing less damage, but a critical hit on the cat and enough on the Rayquaza. Still that helping hand really coming through there, making sure that there was no way for this Rayquaza to deal that much damage right now. So that does mean another Pokemon down, another restricted down. Chimpao on 1 HP, but there's still the Rillaboom. Rillaboom being able to put up terrain, and it is still an awkward position because we already know that this Kyogre is mighty fast. As a result, Rillaboom is tends to be not built as fast, but seeing the options, you cannot Grassify, you need to Warhammer, you cannot fake out, and the Chimpao needs to try and stay on the field. As long as the Serena as well does have that White Lens triple axle, it is able to deal just as well a lot of damage as well. It is White Lens, so it is able to make sure able to hit it. Icicle Crash coming out first. It is going to be enough to KO that Serena. Manages to connect. That means that Kyogre is the next one to move, and that could very well mean that it might be Rillaboom versus the World Origin Pulse, not missing, hitting both of its targets. Rillaboom is gonna be able to KO this Kyogre just as well. And there's only one Pokemon in the back, and we already know what it is. It is going to be the Iron Hands. And Iron does have Dream Punch, and the worst thing as well is that Niek doesn't have his Terra anymore because there was still an option for potentially Terra Grass. But now it's Rillaboom versus Iron Hands, a monkey versus a robot. This is truly the fight of the ages. Peek out is a very good option, of course. Still, like get that like you stall out the grassy terrain turn. You're making sure that you get some damage in, as the Rillaboom will have to try and deal with this Iron Hands as well. If you go for that immediate Wood Hammer, you're taking a lot of recoil damage as well. But Iron Hand still has Dream Punch as well, like trying to heal itself. So you have to carefully consider if you're able to survive moves here. Fake Out, as we saw, did do about 30 damage. And while the Grass Terrain is able to heal at least 20 of it, that does still put Iron Hands in a very scary range, as Dream Punch could very well be just enough for it to survive. If you Would Hammer plus a Dream Punch could prove to be enough as well. So Matteo has to consider a lot of things. He's gonna consider his options. The Rillaboom is a strong Pokemon, but will it be able to kill Iron Hands or do at least enough damage that it can survive a potential Dream Punch? Wood Hammer going into that Iron Hands. It does about 50%, but like this is now a very low Rillaboom. Dream Punch coming out, is it enough to kill it? It is enough for the kill, and that does mean that Niek has won the game, and that is GG. Well played by both these players. Very well done. Seeing the play of the Rayquaza versus Ditto, the Kyogre and everything. That was a clutch water spout KO onto the Rayquaza just as well. GG, well played to both of these players.